Hey guys, in this video we're going to set hair to our NPCs and we're going to do it in two different ways. So first one will be for Metahuman hair and second method will be for all the assets that we can download from somewhere else. And for Metahuman hair we can go to our base NPCs and at the moment we don't have any hair components. So to get them we can just go to our Metahumans, one of them that we have downloaded, and just copy it from here. So select everything from eyelashes to beard and also LOD sync. Copy it, go to base NPC, now paste it in here, unselect this LOD and just select these ones again and make it the children of the face. And once we have done that, let's reset all of these groom assets and groom bindings. And also you can reset the material, so we'll leave it empty. Beard, mustache we don't have. Eyebrows, I'll make it default. And fuzz, I'll also make it default. Now, with Metahuman hair, if you wanted to set it, you could see that, let's say I want to change to test it out, I want to change my body mesh now to one of the body and a face to face, to Click.o. And now if I wanted to set the hair, I would select the afro here, and you can see it is in the air, it doesn't actually fit the Metahuman. What you need to do is also select the binding asset, which is the same one. You need to find the same name for afro for me, and then only then it fits. So you can see that it is quite difficult and it will be really annoying to set it for all Metahumans, go to hair and stuff. So we're going to do it in a way easier way. So instead, let's make this default again for hair, and also I'm going to remove this body mesh. Just click on this and clear, and face clear. So what we're going to do is in our third person on blueprints, we're just going to right click, we're going to create new structure. So blueprint and structure, this one will be called hair _s. Open it up, open the wrong one, so hair, and here we're going to create variable type groom asset, which will be object reference, and the second one will be groom binding asset. So groom binding asset, and this one will be groom asset, and this one we can call groom binding. Save it. Now we have a struct created, we can create data table from it. So right click, go to miscellaneous and data table, select the hair struct that we just created and press OK. This one will be hair _dt for data table. Open it up and now we can add a row. First one we need to leave empty, so we can select no hair, and then we will add. So let's say I downloaded Metahuman that has afro, so I'm just going to call this afro, and here I'm going to find the afro, so hair afro curly, and the groom binding needs to be the same name because you got all the assets for beard, eyebrows, everything else. So if you don't do the same one, it won't work. So afro, and then on my Metahuman I also have which is called side fringe. So I'm going to call this one side fringe. And here I'm going to find it. So hair side swept fringe and hair side swept fringe. Now I'll save this. We can close this data table, and then the way we're going to set it is on base NPC. We're going to duplicate one of these variables, so just it gives us the same category, and this one will be set hair, which will be data table row handle. Compile and save. Sometimes it takes twice to compile it. And then in the construction script, we're going to get this set hair, break it open. From the row name, we're going to get data table row, connected here. The data table will be here, out row will be break, and now we have a groom asset and groom binding. So we can drag the hair component and set groom asset, which we will set to groom asset, and we'll set groom set binding asset. So set binding asset, which will be groom binding. Okay, and now what this does is when you compile and save and go to our human, so I remove the head by resetting it, so I'm going to select first the head face mesh, and then down here you got set hair, which we have to open. One more thing we can actually do, we can select the data table by default, so in this set hair variable, open it up and select the hair, so we don't have to always change it. Compile and save, and now in here we can just select afro, which will give me afro hair, or I can do side fringe, which is really cool because I can just change all the hair as I want, and it works, and it actually fits it if you have a different body mesh as well, smaller one or anything, because it fits it to the face. So if I change this to female one, because at the moment it's male, the small one, you can see the hair fits still really well. Alright, so this is how we create different hair on Metahuman. So what you can just do is download Metahumans with few different hair types, and then you create a data table from it. And this will be very useful for maybe like custom character customization or something when we create the character, because we won't probably be using for many NPCs this hair, because as we said in the previous videos, it's quite expensive. But actually with the LOD sync set to 4, it can run few metahumans in your game that will be important, or quest metahumans or anything like that. So this is a good method. And then one more thing I figured out. So you could probably see that if I change it on my, let's say I go to player blueprint, if I change my hair here to afro, and I go to afro again, hair afro curly, it is different color. So there is a way that you can actually change the color. And the thing is, I was playing with these materials because there's quite a lot of them. You can see there's 3 elements. You got hair cards, hair helmet, and MI hair. And if you were to open it up, this is just the material instance, so it's not original material. So you got the parent here, and you go to parent, it's got another parent, so it's well hidden, and no one really tells you this. All the tutorials I found is like paid tutorials to actually change the hair, but it's very simple, because in the original material that you actually eventually get to M hair, which is V4, you can get to hair dye, which is a parameter, so you can edit it on one of these MI hairs, but most of the time it just won't work. But what we can do is find this original material, which is, if you go to Metahumans and search for M hair, Megascans M hair, so this is the one which is located in common and materials. So I go to common and materials, and here from this M hair we can duplicate this, and we will create something called hair color underscore base underscore M, because it's a material. And this one we will drag to our material folder. So move it here. And once we've done that, go to materials. Here I'm going to right click and create new folder, and this will be hair color. I'm going to move it here. And then inside we can actually either duplicate this and create a whole material, but we can also right click and create material instance, so we don't have to create new material. Material instance basically lets you edit that material, and we will call this, let's say, hair color underscore, let's do something crazy like blue underscore MI for material instance, And I'm also going to create one more, create material instance, which is hair color underscore red underscore mi. Don't have to do weird colors like this, but this is going to show better. And now in here, in the blue one, you do have this parameter somewhere. So in the global vector parameter values is hair dye. You need to tick it. And for a blue one, I'm going to change it to blue. I'm going to save it. And for the red one, I'm going to change the material. So global vector parameter hair dye, and I'll change this to red. Save it. And now we can test it out on the Metahuman. So if I were to, this depends on actually on the lot settings that you have. On this one I got high quality hair. So what I need to do is change it on this first element. If you have LOD settings to 0 to 1, you need to change it on the first one, and then anything higher you change it on the second one, and like the higher settings like LOD 6 and so on, you need to change it on the last one. I don't know why that is or how exactly it is connected here on the materials, but that's what I figured out. So now I'll change it on this one. I'm just going to add hair color blue. And you can see I got hair color that I've set a little bit maybe offset because there is some other colors being inputted as a gradient and stuff like that. And if I do red, I got red. Okay, so this is really cool because you can change the hair yourself. I'm just going to reset it to what it was, which wasn't this, but doesn't matter. I'll change it after. For now, what we're going to do is we're going to set it on our base MPC. So the way we will do it is create a new variable. So duplicate one of these again. This will be set hair color. Type we'll do material instance because we're creating the material instances, not just materials. So material instance and object reference. Compile and save it. And now we'll drag it from here. And no, actually we won't do this, sorry. We'll do here, set material. And now, as I said, the element index depends on your LOD settings. So it's 0, 1, or 2. On our MPCs at the moment, if you did the same thing, you got minimum LOD, you got 4. So we should set this to element 1. If you want to be safe, what you could do is for loop. Actually, let's do that, for loop. And we would do last index is 0, 1, and 2. And we'll loop body and set this. So we will set each index to this set hair color material, just to be sure. So compile and save. And now in the arena, I can go down here. I got my afro selected. I can set the hair color, which will be hair color red. Okay, and I do have red color. And you can just be creating different material instances for all the different types and just select it here, which is really easy. And it actually looks quite cool when you give it a bright hair. And that is on low quality. I'll just show you what would happen if you didn't connect this and change the element 0. These are now wrong LOD, so it doesn't change the hair. Okay, even though I have hair color red. But if you change the material for element 1, it will not work again. And same thing if you change the LOD settings to the lowest quality, which is the potato 1 on 7, the number 1 index won't work again. But you can also change this one square hair if you did 2. That's why it's better to have a for loop, because it will change all of them. Okay, so for loop, I'll connect it back and I'll change my settings to 4, which is quite performant. And that is how we set the hair. So yeah, As I mentioned, you can download loads of different hairs from Metahumans and it's already done for you. You don't have to import it to Blender or anything like that, change things. And you have hair here, but as I said, you can't have too many of Metahumans with hair because your FPS will drop. So now for the second method, what we're going to do is just go to Sketchfab. I don't have it open at the moment, and just download one of the hairs. There's lots of them without the face, but they usually come in a format that is different from FBX. So what you need to do is import to Blender and export it out of Blender. And at the moment, do I have any hair? I think I inputted it. Just one thing I recommend is when you're doing it in the Blender, import your character mesh so you always fit it on the head. That way it will be on the same position. And then hair. No, I didn't import it, so I'm just going to quickly import the context, which I have hair 2, I believe. Import it. And add a new folder called hair. And not all of them actually I found with the materials, but that's not a problem, because for this hair, if it's just one material, what you can do is just change this color, or press 3 on the keyboard and create new parameter with color, and then just change the color to whatever you want, because you don't actually need too much details on the hair. So these are the ones that I got from Sketchfab, and it's just basic hair. You know, quite simple, but it looks quite nice. And what you can do with it is we will go to base MPC. We will need to create new component, so we don't have to create all the classes and assets from it. So we'll add static mesh. So kind of similar to creating a helmet. But this will be, we can call it hair static mesh. And now we will need a new socket on the Metahuman. So to get it, I can open it from this Metahuman because I've changed it here. Body, or just search for this body, open it up, and then go to skeleton. And to the head, we will have to add new socket. So search for head. I'll add new socket. We can use the head socket, these ones that we have, because obviously you want to fit the hair differently than a helmet. So in a head, you add sockets, and this will be hair socket. And in the hair socket, I'm going to add preview asset, which is my hair that I have imported. Hair 1, I think, or hair 2. Okay. And I don't know why is it sideways. I think I've imported it like that if you put it on top of the head in Metahuman in Blender. So I think that's how it imports always. So if I change it once, it should fit. So in my socket, not head, so I need to find the hair socket. And nothing, I'm going to change by 90 degrees, and then I'm going to move it down. It's quite hard to fit the hair correctly in this one because preview mesh you don't have one with the head. There is only these ones, the body ones, you know, so you can't really fit it really well. But okay, Queen, where is it? But what I recommend doing is putting it rather lower, so it's actually a little bit in the skull, because you don't want to have that space there. Okay, so you want to move it really close. So hair socket, I'll move it like this. And then you can see, I can see back of my skull. So I'll move it a little bit like this. Right, now there is no space. And the asset actually looks quite nice, you know, you can do regular human hair color, like a brown or something. And then in the base MPC, these things obviously from here, this is for Metahuman, actually from here. This is all Metahuman hair, so you don't need this. but you don't actually have to delete it unless you decided to use it. You can just disconnect this. I don't think it will change the performance because it won't have any hair or anything or LOD using, so you can just leave it. And then from here what we're going to do is first we need to set this helmet to the static mesh we want so we can attach it. So we're going to, not the helmet, sorry, hair. We're going to get a hair, set static mesh to the mesh we're going to create. So here we will do set hair mesh, because we already have set hair. I need to put it in the same category, which is set MPC, and this will be type static mesh. Static mesh and object reference. Compile and save. Now we'll get it. This will be the new mesh. So we will set this mesh here on the player, and once it's set, we will attach component to component. Socket will be hair socket. Make sure it's the same name as the socket you created, and then snap to target. Parent will be mesh, and target will be hair static mesh. Compile and save. And now in the arena I can go to set hair. Where are you? I didn't copy it, so it's not instance editable. So instance editable, compile and save, and now set hair mesh. So here I would select hair 2. Boom. And you got the hair. And again, you can import as many assets as you want. These are way more performant because they're not using thousands of strands and stuff and physics and all the other crap. So this is way more performant way of doing it. And as you can see, well, yeah, if you look really closely from the bottom, you can see that it's a bit see-through, but I think it's not two-sided material either. On the material you can also, because most of the times when you import it without the material and open it, it's probably not two-sided. Yeah, so two-sided, check it, apply it. That way when you look at it from the other side, you will see the hair, so it will look better. Yeah, much better, you can see. So yeah, this is the way of doing it. And then obviously for the color, we could, so we could create material instance from this. This would be hair color. I didn't think about doing that actually. So this will be hair color material. And we will right click, create material instance, and this will be hair color. We need to call it something different, hair color 1, because we do have all the hair colors, and blue. And in here I'll change the parameter to blue, save it, and now in the base MPC we can also create another one, this one. So I'll duplicate this, no, that one, the hair color one. Duplicate this because we need material instance, and this will be set hair color 1, which is only for static meshes. And we'll get it. We will get the helmet. Wait, will that work? Helmet. Let's see, set material. I'm not sure if this is going to work. I haven't tested it out. So set material to set hair color 1, index 0. Compile and save. And now in here We got set hair color 1. If I change it to any of these, then that won't work. Hair color. It doesn't work because I think we're just creating the material from it. So helmet. Maybe it needs to have a default value. Set mesh. Oh, right, okay. Maybe because I did the helmet, I did the wrong one. It needs to be hair mesh, compile and save. Maybe. Ah, yeah, okay, that works. Fine, so that's how you change the color as well. So you create the material instance and you set the material for the hair mesh, okay? So those are 2 different ways that you can actually set the whole set of hair for both metahumans or the downloaded assets. Cool. So hope you like this video, and like and subscribe if you can, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, bye.